All right. Welcome into Monday Morning Takeaways. The Auburn Sports team is here. Bryan Matthews, Cole Pinkston. I'm Justin Hokanson. Fellas, what's happening?
How's it going?
It's already been a busy day for me. I had to mow the lawn this morning, cranking out some stories. So, yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
A nice little Sunday. You going to Home Depot?
Not yet. Not yet.
At least you didn't have to do it in the pouring rain this time, Matt.
True. Very true. Yes.
And I love cutting the yard. If anybody's ever like, I don't feel like cutting the yard, I might just do it for you.
We can talk about that.
It is. I don't know. I like it. All right, let's get into this. We won't go super long because I don't think there's a ton to dissect to Auburn Ball State, but there's certainly some stuff to talk about. Auburn 42, Ball State 3. Pretty much went about how I think we all thought it would. Maybe a few less points from Auburn than maybe we thought. I think there were a lot of predictions in the 50s. They got the 42. Maybe thought there'd be a few more like explosive plays to push that thing out. But 42-3 total yards. Auburn 495, Ball State 68. First downs. Auburn 27, Ball State 5. Ball State was 1 of 14 on third down conversions. Auburn was 6 of 11. Auburn finished with 271 passing, 224 rushing. Jackson Arnold 24-28, 251 and 3. Jeremiah Cobb career night 11 for 121 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, just complete domination, and the fewest total yards an Auburn defense has given up since 1985 against Ole Miss. So, just kind of an all-around dominating performance. Bryan, we'll start with you. What stood out? Good, bad? What's maybe one or two things that you're sitting there the next day thinking about from that game?
Well, I love that in 2 games, Auburn has 1 turnover, I believe, and that was just a freshman tight end getting stripped, in garbage time. No offense to anybody in the game, but, it was late. They're playing a bunch of backups there. That happened. So I think that's a real positive sign, a big improvement off last year and all the turnovers they had game after game after game, especially to start off the season. So that's a big plus. Defense played great. The fewest yards in 40 years. Auburn's played a lot of stinkers over those 40 years. It's not like Ball State was some horrible team that Auburn never plays a team like that. I thought Ball State was solid, Certainly got after Auburn pretty good in the pass rush, which we can talk about that. So I thought that was great. I thought Jackson Arnold was really, really efficient again. I didn't see a bunch of drop passes, didn't see, some penalties here and there that hurt me. The only thing I'm concerned about, and I really want to hear Cole's thoughts on this, is the lack of explosive plays in the passing game. Yes, Eric Singleton had a nice one there, but, even going back to last week, I don't care if the team is playing 2 deep safeties, right? They do that all the time in the NFL. Tampa 2's been around. I know there's different coverages, has been around for 30, 40 years now, I guess. If you're going to invest all this money, right, into this receiver core, if you're going to sign all these talented dudes, I don't think Cam Coleman was signed to just run 6-7 yard hitches over and over again. I want to see more out of this offense. I want to see receivers running into space. I want to see them getting good matchups and taking advantage of those down the field. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm not being fair. That's the one thing. I'm gonna write about it, I think, a little bit tomorrow, but that's one thing I'm concerned about.
What you got, Cole?
I think that's fair. I think I agree with you, B. Matt. I kept calling for just give me a shot. I know they're playing off. Let me just see a 1-on-1. Can I get a 1-on-1 with Cam Coleman? I'd love to see it. We're now 2 games in the season. I want to see that. He's good at it.
Yeah.
But Ball State, man, they were so overmatched. That was one of the more overmatched games I've seen in a long time, which is good. That's good news for Auburn. I mean, up front in the run game, they look like a JV team. I've written that twice now on the board. They really did. They really did. They had one guy, 47. He wasn't bad, but everybody else, rough. But they were playing more like and don't quote me on this. I think it's more of like a cover 4.
Because Free said Thursday that – are you talking about Ball State's defense?
Yes.
Yeah, he said Thursday when we talked to him, they run quarters. He said straight up, he's like, they're going to do what they did last year. They run a bunch of quarters and,
just simply because they cannot man coverage anyone.
Yeah.
They're not good enough to do that. So they play 12 yards deep and then back up at the snap. play quarters, and say, well, let's keep everything in front. Maybe we'll make some tackles and be in this game. That's exactly how they play.
Yeah.
And Auburn, again, takes what is given, but tries to force some of the downfield passing game, just didn't connect. Arnold got sacked on at least one of those. I know I just watched that one where it's a backside pressure where he held the ball a little bit too long, but, it's a deep post, so he's got to wait for it to come open. I guess bottom line, just my thoughts overall is, like you said, dominating, clean, efficient. I thought it clean and efficient. You got an 86%, right at 86% completion rating for Arnold is awesome. You love to see that. Run game's good. Defense is immovable almost. So it's hard to really say too much about the things that went wrong. When they're forced to do it, that's what we don't know yet. When they're forced to take shots, that's where you're still left scratching your head a little bit.
And we know from history, if you can run the ball and if you can stop the run, you can win some football games.
Oh.
I mean, that goes back to Pat Dye in the 1980s, and that team was out there, this weekend. So
100%. And then you see what Baylor did with SMU, and you go, okay, well, okay.
Baylor's offense is not bad. I mean, SMU blew that game like nobody's business.
Sure.
I mean, had a 2-touchdown lead on them, but Baylor's offense just proved again they're legit. So I think it's kind of like we talked about a few weeks later. You'll be able to maybe evaluate the Baylor game a little bit more accurately, and so now you watch Baylor do it again on offense, and you go, okay, still don't like the amount of passing yards you gave up against Baylor, or maybe some of the angles or coverages or whatever. But now you're like, okay, there's weapons. Baylor's got weapons, and it's a really good quarterback, and it's not the end of the world that you gave up what you gave up against Baylor. Some stats from this Auburn Ball State game that just show you how dominating it was. So Auburn gained 300 yards on first down plays alone. Auburn was 34 first down plays for 300 yards. Ball State ran 18 first down plays and gained 22 yards on those plays. Ball State rushed for 6 yards on first down on 15 carries. They ran 15 first down runs, 6 total yards. Auburn ran for $140 on first down. And here's another crazy stat. You go look at big plays. So big plays are runs over 10 and passes over 15. Ball State had 4 of those total. Those 4 total plays, their 4 big plays in that game totaled 68 yards. That's how many yards they had on offense.
Yeah.
So if you take their 4 big plays, it accounted for all of their offense, meaning the other 45 plays from Ball State netted 0 combined. I mean, there's stats all over the place that were just, I think 17 of the 18 runs by Ball State running backs went for 3 yards or less. Most of those were like a bunch of those were 0, 1, and negative. I mean, there's just it's just like, Ball State was way overmatched, but I mean, 49 plays for 68 yards is insane. 9 3-and-outs from the Auburn defense, 9 3-and-outs in 12 drives. 5 of those 9 were negative, went backwards. 5 of those 9 3-and-outs went backwards. So I guess it's all you can take away from a game like this. Like, you're supposed to dominate them, especially on that side of the ball, and you did it thoroughly. I thought the RPO game was really good from Jackson. I mean, I mentioned it on Jay's show afterwards, but when you just talked about all that soft coverage, all those passes to the outside, not all, a bunch of those passes to the outside were runs. They were called runs. And Arnold's like, well, I mean, if you're doing that, I'm supposed to take that. So I'm going to watch that. And so I thought there's a lot of good decisions from Jackson Arnold in the RPO game. You just come away going, I'm still uncertain about the drop back game. I'd love to know that. I'd love to look at the film and see big picture and know exactly what Freeze and Ken Austin and them are thinking on a couple of the ones that he held. Did he hold it? Was there really nobody open? I personally think that they may have been forcing it a little bit. And Jackson might have been sitting back there going, I know I can run. I could take off and run every play if I want to. I'm trying to throw the ball downfield. And I wonder if he got in his head in a little bit of, I'm trying to make a play here. We didn't do a lot of it last week. We're trying to work on it. And he held it longer than he should have. And he got a sack. Another one he rolled out. And that one where he lost a couple yards, had the hit on the sideline. But I'd love to know that. I don't know. I don't know if guys were wide open and he missed them, or if Auburn was forcing some dropbacks into some coverages that weren't ideal, but they were just trying to work on it. And in a bigger game, does Jackson go, listen, I would have pulled it down, but I'm really just like, I'm forcing the issue, trying to make a pass play. And so Mason Murphy's the only one I saw really get run by early. So the other sacks, I didn't necessarily, weren't, I don't know that I would call them protection issues other than Mason Murphy getting run by. It was just kind of trying to, I think, force it a little bit in the drop back game, but it doesn't matter. It's still a bit of mystery. Whatever the reasoning, we're going to go into we're going to go to Norman and really not know a lot about Auburn's legit drop back passing game. But here's the question: what if the RPO game is as good as it was? What's the significance of the drop back? They need to improve on it, but so much of what they do is RPO, and that looked pretty good. So like, what's the level of like, crisis that we're putting on not really knowing the drop back game and where it's at?
I would say it's if you come up against a defense that can slow Auburn enough first and second down that you get to these 3rd and 6s and 3rd and 7s.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that won't happen because they're so efficient in the RPO right now. But we'll see it when we go against SEC defenses. I think Oklahoma and Texas A&M and then Georgia. That will certainly be 3 straight games. That model will be tested for sure.
Yeah, what we'll see when they finally do play a team like Oklahoma, defense like Oklahoma's, is they have the ability to line up in the box and attack your run game and stop it, slow it down, while also playing man coverage out there and not worrying about getting beat deep. That's when we'll find out how good these receivers are, because they're supposed to win those. That's what we've been told all offseason, right? This is how good this receiver group is. When they do go man coverage, it doesn't matter who you go against. They're going to win these matchups. We don't know the answer to that yet. And we haven't seen it. We haven't even come close to seeing it. Even in a bigger game that's Baylor, they weren't playing that game.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They were scared to do that, which, again, is good, but Oklahoma's not going to be. Texas
Especially
A&M,
at home. Yeah.
Right. They think they have the athletes to match up with that. Or at least they're going to go, hey, well, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. If you burn us on this, we'll stop. But until you do that, and they're going to, of course, that's going to be on Jackson Arnold too. They're telling Jackson, you got to prove me wrong. So we got a ways to go to find out how that's going to go. I will say one of the deep balls, Justin, that I've seen so far was open. It was a deep post to Eric Singleton. We talked about it earlier, but it was open. You got to let that one fly. I think that was an issue there. From what I've seen so far, the others, I can't really make a call on it. I'm not sure if it was open, but you're asking a guy like, look, I know what you've been taught, but we just need you to kind of let it go in quarters coverage. Can you do that for us? And Jackson's going, no, I'm not doing that. Why would I do that? That's not what I've been taught. And I don't think it's as black and white as maybe Peyton Thorne would be, but at the same time, he's seen it go wrong. He's not going to play around like that.
What else stood out?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say defense. Those stats you had were incredible. And I think we should point out also just the number of players Auburn played, and that defense continued to perform out there, and how much that's going to help Auburn as we move into, late September, October, November. I think that side of the ball, recruiting, evaluations, playing, coaching, is just being run really, really well right now under DJ Durkin.
Yeah, and I think it's fair. Look, we talked about poor tackling in the opener. That was better. It should have been. Baylor's outmatched. If you can't tackle them, then we got much bigger problems. It was good to see Sylvester Smith make some plays. I was very hard on him after Baylor. He still doesn't really wrap up. He likes to hit with his shoulder. I would like to see him wrap somebody up every now and then. But big time hit inside the 5 there. When Auburn held Ball State to A field goal, Robert Woodyard completely robbed of a turnover, by the
Yep.
way. That should have been a shutout.
Yep.
I like that should have
Yeah,
been
that-
100% a shutout. I mean, it's just an atrocious call that you steal a turnover away. In Ball State, what did they run? 7. They got the ball on the turnover and they ran like 7 plays and gained 14 yards or something, and they kicked a field goal. I mean, refs just gave them points. The tackling was better, I thought, overall.
Yeah, that stand in the red zone was awesome.
Yeah.
The call makes me mad because I really like Robert Woodyard, and he made a heck of a play getting that ball out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great play, but it's unfortunate he didn't get the call on that. But that red zone defense was really nice right there. It was just when I noticed, they had started subbing at that point already, but when they got in that situation, they go, all right, stop playing, put the guys back in, let's get this done. And they did, and it was nice, and it was like totally different. They put those guys in, and no more yards.
It was it was one of the more intense moments of the game because you're sitting there. I think the fans realized, yeah, let's keep points off the board. People were kind of fired up at the bad call on the fumble. I think they played the clip of the coach saying that, playing at Jordan Hare is not nothing different. So it got everybody riled up. You're right about playing a lot of guys on defense. What do we think about Xavier Atkins through 2 games?
Go ahead, Cole. I'm gushing about that kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was my pick for breakout player of the year. Yeah. My subheading on that was Xavier is my pick and not Chaplin. It's that.
Yeah,
like that guy is as quick, and his eyes are as quick as any linebacker I've seen at Auburn since Jacoby McLean, at least so far. I just mean his eyes, right? He is diagnosing and reading plays so quickly they don't have a chance to I mean, how many tackles for loss did he have? 4, I think.
Yes.
4.
2 sacks. Yep.
All of those plays, it's like as soon as the running back's getting the ball, as soon as it touches his stomach and he's taking the handoff, Atkins is there, like blowing it up, and he was doing that in the Baylor game. Baylor's offensive line was better about climbing to the backers, so it was a little bit. It didn't pop quite as much as it did in this game, but he was there, and that was the biggest thing. If you don't get a hand on him, if the defensive line takes up the blocks and the doubles and he's free, somebody's getting hit in the mouth. And I'm glad to see that. It's been a long time since I've seen an Auburn linebacker play like that.
Yeah. And when he makes a tackle, he makes a stop. I mean, there's not many inches that the running back or whoever gets after he makes contact with Xavier. It's so impressive.
Melendez popped a little bit too.
Elijah, yeah. You had, he and Kieron Crawford both have played really well the first 2 games. Both of them have had back-to-back really solid games. Crawford had 4 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss. So Sylvester Smith had 6. But you had a bunch of guys. I think you had Atkins had 4 tackles for loss. Crawford had 2. And then somebody else had 2. Blockton had 2. And then you had Smith, Melendez, Riddick, Diaz, Amaris, and Jared Smith all with 1. So you had a lot of guys that were active.
Jared Smith, he got a sack.
The very end.
I missed it. I was walking down at that point.
I missed Darrell's TD run. I had to watch that on video afterwards.
I saw that one.
Good speed. Good speed by Darrell.
Yeah, which considering he's had turf toe, like really serious turf toe, and I think a surgery maybe on it too or something like that. Like he looks good, looks fresh. And is it interesting to y'all that Omar Mabson was the choice before him, or is that more of a Deuce thing where it's like we need to see him? I don't know. Darrell's kind of new too.
I think it's more about Darrell missing so much time and Omar getting. We saw him. I think the very first day of fall camp, we saw him getting rotations in with the first team.
Yeah,
which that day just was like, wow, okay, this kid is for real, and they already trust him. So I think that's part of it. And But I think Darrell showed that when he's 100% healthy and he's put in the time, that he can be an impact player. So I'm anxious to see what he could do if he can do that. If he can stay healthy for a stretch of a few weeks in a row.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Even after his touchdown run, he came back to the sideline and he looked almost mad, Darrell. Like there was almost looked like he was like, yeah, like I didn't come here, I'm not a slouch, like that's the attitude it looked like with him, which is good. I think he probably thinks he should be getting carries ahead of true freshman in Omar, and I like Darrell better. Like if you got me mid season into an SEC game, I'd rather see Darrell Robinson in there, but.
Nobody needed to play like that more than he did because Cobb and Austin have been so solid.
Mm-hmm.
Solid's not the word you want to hear, but they have. I mean, they've just done things right.
Yeah.
Held onto the ball, extra yards after contact. Vision looks good with both, breaking off big runs here and there. So it's like it's almost not fair to Robinson, but it was like, well, man, we kind of like what we got going. It's not your fault. Nothing we can do, man. We got to keep this rhythm going. So he needed to break one like that for them to go, or it's worth a shot to get him involved.
Injury wise, I mean, the Towns Magoo is kind of the only one that we come out of that game kind of wondering what's going on. They said it was an ankle thing. It was weird. It just sort of came down on it oddly, and they said during the broadcast it was an ankle, and so now you're looking at kicker where McPherson's out there, but he's not. He's not his normal self. Let's say, 2 years ago, and he's also constantly dealing with his health. So the thing about McPherson is, sure, he's out there and he can kick the short field goals, but he's kind of still at this point with his health where at any point he could have McPherson could have a bad few days. I mean, it's not nothing. He's almost like day to day all the time. And so now you have Towns Magoo. We'll see what happens there. So I guess place kicker situation is a little dicey. Not quite sure what that looks like week to week. But other than that, everybody was pretty healthy. Damari probably could have played. If that was Alabama, Damari would have played. Yeah. So I don't think I think really you're just kind of looking at Champ as the one that you're hoping to come back for Oklahoma. Everybody else seems to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think this has been one of the healthiest camps and start of the season Auburn's had in my career covering them. It just doesn't happen this often that you get through camp without a major injury or more knocks and bruises than Auburn got for sure.
Yeah, and how important is that Connor Gibbs addition looking right now, too, by the way?
Pretty big.
Whether he's good or not, I mean, it doesn't even matter. It's just to have that guy there is important. Yeah. I did get some clarification, by the way, on what happened with Towns. So there was the snap was not perfectly clean, or the hold was not perfectly clean, one of the two, and he hesitated. When he did, his toe went in the ground as he was kicking through the ball, and it turned his ankle or rolled it, however, and it I don't know. I don't know if he'll be out with it, but that's what happened. We'll see if I think we'd probably see Connor Gibbs next week, if I had to guess.
Makes sense because that field goal came up well short.
Yeah, it was not good. Not good.
Well short. I thought Connor showed a good leg, so that at least you've got somebody back there that's got a decent leg. If you need to. All right, so Auburn rolls past Ball State. You got South Alabama coming up. I feel like it's going to be another game to try to, I think it's an Auburn versus Auburn game where you're trying to tune up and impress. Oh, anything on Deuce Knight? I mean, he only got a few snaps. It's Ball State. I don't think we need to extrapolate any big thing out of it, but Freeze did say afterwards, I'm surprised he didn't complete more passes. He almost turned the ball over like 3 times in his first 5 snaps. Yeah. I mean, he almost threw a pick. He fumbled twice. Had a couple of good runs, or had at least one good run up the middle where you saw a flash of his ability to kind of glide. I mean, he got going real quick, completed a couple of passes, but were you hoping to see more? You're like, it's a few snaps against Ball State. Literally, I don't care what it looked like. Is there anything to take away from finally getting to see him in action?
I think it's tough to step in as a second-team quarterback when you're with the second or third-team offensive line, and you got guys out there who don't know what you're doing necessarily. I just think it kind of builds, and it's just tough to look your best in that situation. So, but on the other hand, I do think it was just good to get him out there, right? Get that game experience, have him be on that field, have him run through some stuff they can put on film. He'll be more relaxed the next time he goes out there.
Yeah, it was important, and Justin, you and I talked about it on the Friday show if they were going to go with Ashton Daniels or Deuce, and it just felt like it was more important for Deuce, even though it's not really fair to Ashton. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. But you gotta get him out there and get the feel of it, because we talked about this fall camp when all the news coming out was no turnovers. Oh wow, Deuce Knight. Yes, but you got to remember something. I think we said this on a show. Jackson Arnold has seen it go wrong. He knows what that feels like. So he's not going to take as many chances as a guy like Deuce, who comes in green. He's still learning. He's slinging it. He knows he's got a chance to get that backup job. He's not missing any throws. He's going to take every chance he can. Yep. So that was a big difference, I think, in fall camp. And look, give him credit. He made a lot of good plays and got some buzz off of it. But when you get into the real game, it's just a different dynamic. And that's what they needed him to see. Like, look, all right, we know you can sling it. We know you got the arm. We know you can run, which he had some good runs, by the way. This is why you don't do this, or this is why you do this and throw it at this time. And, that was good. I'm glad they got a few drives for him. Very important.
Yeah, that was interesting listening to Freeze talk about that last Thursday. I didn't really know he was going to go into that kind of detail. I really was just asking him, like, do you want to try to get somebody on some snaps in the game? And he kind of went into saying, Deuce would be the guy. But his reasoning was good to actually hear his reasoning, and it made a lot of sense. I mean, it's a fine line where you're trying to protect Ashton Daniels' red shirt, not just because he could stay here next year, he could go. I mean, you're trying to sort of do him right, I feel like, and you're trying to appease Deuce. Like, there are going to be some big decisions in a couple months regarding quarterbacks, and so you also want to play Deuce, and you don't want him to be unhappy because you don't want him to go anywhere. So it's a pretty interesting situation, and so it was good to hear him say, "I've had the conversation with Ashton. He's a great kid. He's mature. He knows where we're at." So it's in a situation where you can play Deuce. Ashton's not mad. He's sitting there in a great program, and if it doesn't work out, he can use this red shirt, and Ashton could transfer and go start somewhere, and he's making some good money in the process and all that. So I still think if Jackson Arnold got hurt, that Ashton Daniels would be the guy, because what you saw a little bit of, to me, what you saw against Deuce is like he's not mentally, he's got all the ability, but he's not. You don't. If Arnold gets hurt in the first quarter against Oklahoma or A&M or Georgia, I mean, good luck. I don't know. I mean, Deuce is talented, but I'm not holding my breath that Deuce will go in there. They'll be fine. They'll be able to move the ball. I mean, unless the O-line took over and took it out of Deuce Knight's hands or something like that. But he's got a ways to go. Before we get out of here, what about anything stand out about some of the other games that went on that for whatever reason would make you feel any differently about Auburn or how we're viewing some of these games? Right, we watched South Florida beat Florida, which, by the way, Billy Napier, right, just he's like, get me right back on the hot seat. He wanted to get right back on that thing, but at the same time, like, don't we Florida fans, don't we have to step back and go, South Florida might be good.
I think they
but
are.
Kentucky played Ole Miss close. Troy battles Clemson. Like, I don't know. It's just it just feels like, I don't know. Some of these games, man, you just especially early, you just don't know.
Well, I would say Georgia's not blowing me away so far. And
yeah,
is it Gunnar Stockton's at their quarterback? I just, I think he's solid, but he hasn't done anything special from what I've seen. So
yeah,
I think that makes me feel a little bit better about Auburn's chances there. But we'll see. Still a talent gap to get past there in that game. I still feel like.
Yeah.
What about the OU game? I didn't get they're on the same time, so I didn't get to watch Oklahoma and watching Auburn, obviously. But I wasn't surprised. I thought Oklahoma's they're pretty solid. Do we think anything differently about Auburn's trip to Norman there in a couple weeks?
I think it's going to be tough because I think, with them ranked the way they're playing right now, that stadium is going to be lit, and
Yeah.
plus Jackson Arnold returning, right? That you got all that going on. And it does look like their defense has gotten better. They've got a legitimate quarterback, legitimate coordinator. I don't think that guy's a Heisman Trophy winner like some people are building him up to be, but I think he's pretty good.
He's definitely good. I'm with you though, because one thing I was glad to see for Auburn's chances is he will throw it to the other team.
Yeah.
Saw that happen. You and me watched that, B-Matt, and we were sitting there.
Yep.
One floated on him, and it was crucial, so he's still trying to settle in a little bit, but he's a good runner, and that is where he's making his money, just like Jackson Arnold. And you almost feel better about Auburn's chances against a quarterback like that right now. They've constricted the pocket really well on two quarterbacks that can make it happen with their legs in the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Kelly for Ball State, not great, but can run. Had one big run on him on a fourth down. They constricted him. He couldn't go anywhere. He's hurting today. I promise you that. Tell you the game that I'm torn on, because I love their style. I love watching them. I pull for them because they're an underdog. But Auburn's got to play them, and dang it, they look good. It's Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vandy.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech. Maybe Virginia Tech's not great. It's possible.
They're not great. They're probably okay. Virginia Tech's probably. They feel like they look like a 6-6. Watching them against South Carolina, Virginia Tech looked like what a 6-6-ish team would look like. There's some good things, but there's not I don't see athletic ability all over the place. I don't see anything special there.
Did we get word on what's his name at A&M, Malik?
Marcel Reed?
Yeah, Marcel Reed. Did we get word on him?
I think I saw during the game that he was fine, but they were choosing not to put him back in because it was a blowout. Gotcha. So I think he's fine.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody yet, but they do play Notre Dame, I think, this weekend. So that'll be a good way to measure exactly how good they are.
Yeah. Spoiler, I'm picking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That's in South Bend, right?
I think so.
Because did Notre Dame go to College Station and win last year? I think.
I think so.
Missouri, Kansas was a good one. Missouri's new quarterback looks really good. He's second in the league behind Mateer, I think, in passing right now. So he's the Missouri looked better than I thought they looked week one. Like if Pribula, is that how he say his last name?
Pribula, yeah.
If he keeps getting better, Ahmad Hardy is real good.
Yeah.
Missouri's tough. Like Auburn gets them at home, but that's Ahmad Hardy's legit, and if their quarterback keeps kind of improving a little bit, they're right there in the rankings at 24. Auburn's at 25. So Missouri gets a big win over Kansas. That's not that I thought like they were going to roll in here and when Auburn plays them, and Auburn's just Auburn will wax Missouri. Missouri's good, but might even be more of a challenge than maybe I thought if the quarterback keeps getting better.
And we've seen with Freeze that sometimes these games don't go the way you want them to, right? And you look at Missouri and Vanderbilt. Those are two of those games where Auburn will probably be favored in at home, but you just don't know.
Trap games, right?
Yep.
That's what they feel like.
Yep.
That is the understatement of the year, Brian. We've seen these with Hugh Freeze before. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's we'll see. Maybe once he has the talent, you don't have as many of these games, right? You don't have the New Mexico States. You don't have, the games that Auburn should have won last year and the turnovers or what have you just killed them. Maybe those don't happen as much now, but you still got to look back on the history of it and know they can.
Absolutely. Let me ask y'all a question that someone on the board asked me. If you had to compare Baylor to an SEC team, who would you compare them to?
I would say Missouri.
I said Missouri. That's exactly what I said.
Who'd you say, Justin? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I didn't know if we're talking about team
current
year.
Current, yeah. Based on what you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, a pretty good offensive attack. Yeah, I don't know about I guess Missouri-ish. I don't. Baylor's
maybe Ole Miss
clearly sucks.
Ole Miss is not about because I think
their defense is better.
Yeah, their offense is not quite where it usually is. Listen, Baylor's offense is serious.
Good.
It's serious. They're passing attack. And then they got Washington, man. They can turn to him anytime they want. Like, that's a good offense.
Yeah.
Good test for Auburn out of the gate.
Yeah, I felt bad for Rhett on that one. That's rough, man. You're trying to get the momentum after a playoff year, and you got Baylor, an in-state game, and it's at home, and you're up 2 touchdowns. That's a really, really tough loss for SMU right there. But for Auburn's purposes, if you're thinking down the road, if you want to even consider trying to get to 9 wins and even remotely get in the playoff conversation, that is the kind of win that you like, and you would want Baylor to keep winning. And maybe down the road you can go look at Baylor. Baylor's over here 8-4, 9-3 themselves or something, and that would be a big one. One more thing before we get out of here, we talked about Atkins and Crawford. That interior defensive line, like, again, Bobby Travis and Zeke Walker and Blockton, and like, they're not. I don't know that we're giving them enough praise. Like, we've talked about Jackson Arnold, and we talked about
Hardy.
Atkins, and we talk about like that whole group now 2 weeks in a row. There's a reason that Atkins is really fast and twitchy. There's a reason though you can come flying through there and make plays. There's somewhere to run.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just wanted to sort of shout out that interior defensive line. I feel like
Jay Hardy needs to be talked about more.
Yeah. I just see them all at times getting pushed or disrupting a play. I just think that group right now, because they don't have a Keldrick Falk is not, he's on the outside. They don't have a Keldrick Falk equivalent in the middle. We don't key on a guy. It's just sort of a group, but just a shout out. I think 2 games in a row, they have been.
Morris is another guy that stood out to me.
Yeah.
He got the penalty, but still you could see he was making plays in there.
Two face masks, right?
Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah. He got the one
twice. Yeah. The one on the
side.
side.
I wonder though, did he have the Morris did he have like a wrap going on his hand? Anyway, I wondered if he had an issue with trying to tackle, so he was just kind of grasping at whatever he could get his hands on. The face mask works well.
I think give some credit to Kelly, Kyle Kelly. He's kind of slippery back there. He made a couple people miss but he was just getting avalanched. I mean,
dude,
like
he'd
make the first guy miss, but then there'd be 3 more.
They made his life hell. I mean, that guy, I couldn't imagine playing quarterback in that situation. Every time the ball's coming back there, you're like, I'm going to get smoked in about 2 seconds.
What do you do?
So Amaris got the face mask and a personal foul. So those were his 2 penalties.
Oh, personal foul.
Yeah.
Was that for standing over somebody?
I guess so. Yeah. It was down there. It was down there at the goal line, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I don't remember that one.
How about Cam Coleman? I think this is going to be unpopular. He's got to stop this jumping, man. He's got to
hurt himself. I thought he hurt himself that one time he fell on his hip there. I was concerned about that one.
It's awesome. I'll give him that. But it's reckless.
Yeah.
It is reckless. The best comment I saw, and I would love to give somebody credit if I could remember who, and if you listen, you can say that was me. But somewhere across my X timeline, somebody says, well, if he would have had 2 less watches on, he'd have gotten over that guy.
It's weighing him down, huh?
It's weighing him down.
I mean, like the one where he jumps over the guy in the open field, just make a move, Stay on the ground, make a move. Maybe you make the guy miss. I don't think you're getting anything accomplished by doing the jump other than maybe getting talked about on Sports Center or something.
And get an awesome picture. I mean, those pictures of a receiver jumping over a defender. Yeah, they look awesome. Yeah.
He had a nice stiff arm somebody to the ground. That was nice.
That's good. That was very good.
I guess I was thinking about the only deep shot I remember was the one to Malcolm that was well underthrown. Down the middle. He was kind of double covered anyway, but I was like, boy, if you're throwing deep to Malcolm or Eric Singleton, you better let it fly. There better not. I mean, those 2 dudes are too fast. If you're going deep, just launch it. you're probably not going to overthrow them. It was so underthrown.
I remember
he wouldn't have caught it anyways.
Seeing that from the box, Justin, I think like there was some pressure right on him. Like somebody closed the pocket on him a little bit as he was stepping into that throw. And I'll have to watch it again. But if I remember correct, I think I noted it when I was watching it live. Like he took some off of that throw for some reason because of that, which was unfortunate because that was one where I think he really could have connected on.
But that's about the only deep shot I remember. True. Let it fly deep shot.
Well, this completion percentage thing, when you start getting into these, hey, Oklahoma's defense is manning you up and daring you to try Cam Coleman or Eric Singleton, that completion percentage is going to come down because it's called a 50-50 ball for a reason. And that's what they're going to have to start going to when it gets tight in these games. But at least after 2 weeks, Arnold feels real comfortable with what they're asking him to do as far as the base offense goes. Yep. And you can always fall back on it if it's, if you get in a tight spot.
Yeah. I think the accuracy's – I like some of the accuracy on a lot of the RPO stuff. Flinging it out to the outside or even – some of that stuff, I thought he was kind of on the money. So I like –
looks very natural for me.
Yeah, it just – he looks pretty comfortable. I definitely noted that during the game. He just looked very, very comfortable in the RPO stuff. Horatio Fields with a couple of catches. Good to see him sort of, all right, I think Auburn's got a third possession guy. Yep. That's good
he's important.
That's good to see.
They have a hard time getting him on the ground too after he catches the football.
Yeah, which is like what you're saying on Cam. Just if you're that big, stay on the ground. Use your size. If they tackle you, you could fall forward for 2 yards.
Yeah,
just go forward. The screen pass to Singleton was a fantastic play call. That was perfectly executed for a touchdown.
They ran They ran that tunnel 3 times, which I think I was asking for more screen work. After watching a couple of live stuff, I saw them run some screens, and I was going, all right, let's see that. And we didn't see any against Baylor. They throw the tunnel screen 3 times because, why not? They're playing quarters. It should be easy, right?
Yeah.
So they have that in the bag. I'm glad to see that.
All right. Anything else? Any other high points? All right. Auburn, South Alabama next week, 11:45 SEC Network. That'll be nice. Get a little early game.
Yeah.
Get done. Actually have an evening. That'll be good stuff. First ever meeting, by the way. I saw that in the game notes. I don't know. I guess I just thought in-state maybe they played before, but first ever meeting for Auburn and South Alabama next Saturday. Auburn, of course, is in the AP poll at 24, first time in 4 years. Caleb wrote, looked that up. They fell out of the rankings when they blew the Mississippi State game in 2021. When that was the game, Auburn was up huge, like 28-3. And then I've never seen anything like what happened after that. Literally, Mississippi State scored like 38 unanswered points. It was unbelievable.
That was crazy.
What I watched. And Nick's got hurt at the end of that game, I think, got banged up. It was
sure did.
Man, but that's the last time they were in the rankings, 4 years. And I was thinking to myself, like, has it been 4 years? And I'm like, yeah, it absolutely has been 4 years. Because the last 4 years have been atrocious. It feels like a decade, to be honest. But we'll see if they can stay there. They'll beat South Alabama, and then we'll see if they can hang on. But at least it's one marker, one indicator of taking steps in the right direction.
And 83 is the high Saturday right now, so could be nice.
Tell you something, it was hot Saturday.
Yes,
this past Saturday. I probably lost 5 pounds walking around campus, just trying to get from place to place, sweating. Yeah,
you're right. 83, which means 11:45. You go into the game at 9:30. It'll be in the 70s when we go into the press box for sure.
Love it.
Well, and even 83 is the high. I don't even know if it'll be 83 at 11 o'clock. So yeah, what a perfect. It'll be 78, 80 when that game starts. So perfect day for some football. All right. Go to the Auburn Sports YouTube page and subscribe, turn on notifications. There are shows every day of the week. Every day of the week, there are football shows, recruiting shows, rundown, whatever, you name it. There are shows there every day of the week. And of course, we'll have all kinds of stuff at auburnsports.com, recruiting and obviously football coverage and all that good stuff as well. All right, for Cole and Brian, I'm Justin. We'll see you guys next time.